Today on our 2014 GMC Sierra 1500 series, we'll be installing the TruXedo TruXport soft roll-up tonneau cover, part number TX272001. Improve the look of your truck with this economically priced tonneau cover. It's going to keep your cargo and tools out of the elements. When you need to get in the back of your truck, or just prefer to have it open, you could simply undo the latches and then roll it up. It features two hook and loop keepers on both ends of the cover. That way we can keep it towards the bulkhead while we're on the road. It's a simple no-drill installation. It uses 6 clamps to secure it to your truck bed side rails. It features a dual latching mechanism with a built-in tension control that keeps the cover tight in any climate. It uses a hook and loop design rather than the traditional snap style. That way in colder conditions, you can easily secure it. It's constructed out of a strong vinyl, so you're always going to get that smooth-like appearance. It's very easy to clean, just use soap and water. One other nice thing about this tonneau cover is that we can have it fully locked down in position and it won't interfere with opening or closing our tailgate. And when used in conjunction with a locking tailgate, it can provide a little extra security. It's going to sit about 1.5 inches above your truck bed side rails. The first step to our install is we want to install the bulkhead seal on the bulkhead here. It's a good idea to wipe it down with some rubbing alcohol first, so we'll go ahead and do that. The idea here is just to get it nice and clean, get all that grime and that dirt off. That way you can ensure a good stick. I'd say that's pretty good. Then we can take our bulkhead seal, and what we want to do here is we want to pull back. We want to get started. Now when we stick this, we want to put it just on the edge of where it starts to roll towards the bed here. So we're just going to take it and we're just going to stick it, I'd say right there. And we're just going to work our way down. And we want to try to keep it as straight as possible. And then once we get down to the end, we're just going to take some scissors and cut the excess off. All right, there we go. And then we can just kind of go along and make sure that it's seated. Now with our bulkhead seal in place, let's go ahead and pull that paper off there, just because we don't want that in between our cover. Now if our plastic bed liner were to come up over our bulkhead, or if we had a spray and liner, we would not need this bulkhead seal. So as you can see, we just got the paint here. That's why we're using it. Now it's not a bad idea to go ahead and grab an extra set of hands. It's not very heavy, but it just can be kind of helpful to set it in place. So we'll bring it all the way up, and we're just gonna make sure that the padded end here is facing down onto the other bulkhead seal. You also want to make sure that the box portion of the bar here is facing towards the tailgate. So the flat portion here, and that the angled portion is facing toward the cab. So just like this. Now let's bring in our side rails. I've got them laid out on the back of the tailgate here, and we'll need to put on our weather seal caps here. So this end here is what's going to plug into our cover assembly up towards the cab. So we're just going to peel it loose, and we're going to line it up and then set them in place. Just like that. We can just repeat that process for the other side here. Now let's grab our side rail, and we're going to head on up to our cover assembly. We want to make sure that the padded portion is facing down. That's going to sit on top of our truck bed rail. We'll also want to make sure that this end is towards the cab of the truck. This is the end that's going to plug into our bar here. So we'll just take it, and we'll want to line it up right there, and then push it in place. Just like that. So make sure it's all the way closed up, and then we can repeat the same process for the other side. With our side rails in position, let's go ahead and bring in our clamps. We've got 3 for each side. We need to make sure and space them out evenly along the rails. So for our rear one, we want to make sure and place it as close to the tailgate as possible. We've got some interference here, so we're going to go right next to it. We're going to come underneath, the truck bed side rail, then come up, and we want to make sure to place the teeth of the clamp into the raised treads here. That way when we tighten it down, it'll make a nice secure fit. But we don't want to tighten them down all the way. We're going to loosely install them for now. Okay, with that loosely installed, let's go ahead and do our next one. And as I said before, we want to make sure and have them evenly spaced as possible. We're going to go right here. We'll come up the same way, and then just hand tighten it down. Now let's do the front one. So we'll come all the way up as close as we can to the cab, go underneath, and then on top. And then we'll just repeat that same process for the other side. Now with all of our clamps loosely installed, we want to make sure that our cover is evenly spaced on both sides. So what we're actually doing for here is we're lining up our rail with the inside of the truck. So it's nice and flat along the way. We're going to start up front here, so that's the main portion we want to make sure that is even on both sides. Then once we've got it set, we can tighten it down. We're just going to use a 1/2-inch socket wrench to tighten them down. You want to be careful not to over tighten. You just want them nice and snug. You'll also want to be sure, as I said before, that the teeth of the clamp are in the grooves on the rail. Once you get it nice and snug, then we can do the other side. Now let's unroll our cover towards the rear clamps so we can finish centering it up. So we'll want to undo our hook and loop straps, and then we can roll it out. So we'll bring it all the way just to where our rear clamps are, and then we're going to center it up. Now for tightening down our rear clamps, we just want to make sure that our rail is still in line with the inside of our truck as we were up front. So once we've ensured that that is the case, we can then take our socket wrench and tighten it down. And once again, we get them nice and snug, and we can repeat that same process for the other side. Now with both rear clamps tightened down, let's go ahead and roll it back up and tighten down our center clamps. There we go. Now with our center clamps tightened down, let's go ahead and roll it back out and put on our last weather seal caps. So we'll roll it this far, and then we're going to be working right here. So just like before, very easy. We'll just peel it off and then stick it in place. And then we'll just do that for the other side. Now let's secure our cover. We'll want to make sure that our tailgate is opened up, and we're going to slide this portion here into this notch here. And that goes for both sides. So we're going to pull the cover slightly towards us like this, then we're going to roll it upward, making sure that it's in on both sides, and then we're going to bring it down and listen for the click. So we can give a push on both sides and make sure that it's secure. Now the only thing left to do is to secure our hook and loop on both sides. So we'll come over to one side first. We're going to make sure to line it up nicely, and then just push it down and work our way towards one side. All right, now let's go to the other side. Now for this side, we want to pull it towards us and then latch it down. So just to get all the wrinkles out of it and give it that nice flat look. So I'm just pulling towards me and then hooking it down all the way to the end. Now we're ready to close our tailgate and we're all set. And that's going to complete our install of the TruXedo TruXport soft roll-up tonneau cover on our 2014 GMC Sierra 1500 series, part number TX272001.